The restaurant had that low, amber lighting that makes everything feel curated. Success softened at the edges. It was one of my dad's favorites, the kind of place where the waiters remembered his name and the bill arrived in a leather folder, face down, like a small favor. We were there to celebrate nothing in particular. Those dinners were his specialty, a way to gather everyone and remind us gently, publicly where we stood. My sister sat across from me, posture perfect, laughing easily. She wore the confidence like a well-fitted jacket. She always had. My parents had called it independence. I had learned to call it insulation. Halfway through the second bottle of wine, my dad leaned back in his chair and lifted his glass. "You know," he said, smiling broadly, voice carrying just enough for nearby tables to hear. "You could learn a lot from your sister." He gestured toward her with the stem of his glass. "She pays her own way." There it was. A pause followed, brief, expectant, then applause, actual applause. My aunt clapped first, enthusiastic, and others followed, laughing as if this were a roast and not a comparison sharpened to a point. I felt the familiar heat rise in my chest, not anger exactly, more like recognition. The old script. I took a sip of my drink, let the ice click against the glass, gave myself a second longer than necessary. Then I said, evenly, "Then she won't miss the $3,200 transfer that hits her account each month." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't look at anyone in particular. The sound in the room dropped out so fast it was almost physical, like pressure changing. My sister's smile didn't fade gradually. It collapsed. One moment it was there, bright, practiced, and the next it was gone, replaced by something naked and panicked. Her eyes flicked to my dad, then to my mom, then back to me. "That's not," she started, then stopped. My dad frowned, confused, as if I'd spoken in the wrong language. "What are you talking about?" I shrugged slightly. "The standing transfer. From your investment account. It's been going on for 3 years. Someone laughed nervously. It died quickly. My mom set her fork down with a little too much care. "Why would you bring that up here?" she asked, as if the issue were tone, not truth. I didn't answer right away. I let the silence do what it needed to do. I had learned over time that explaining only gave people something to push against. My sister cleared her throat. "That's different," she said. "It's not like, it's exactly like," I said gently. "It's money." My dad's face tightened, the way it did when something slipped out of his control. "We help when we can," he said. "That doesn't mean..." "It means she doesn't pay her own way," I replied. "Which is fine. Just not accurate." There was a movement at the edge of the table. My uncle leaned back, suddenly very interested in his napkin. The waiter hovered, then retreated. My sister's voice shook when she spoke again. "You didn't have to say the number." I met her eyes, not with triumph, with something closer to exhaustion. "You didn't have to clap." That landed harder than anything else I'd said. My dad opened his mouth, then closed it. My mom looked between us, calculating damage. The applause had turned into a liability, and no one knew how to gather it back. For a moment, I thought that would be it, that the truth would hang there, uncomfortable but survivable. Families are good at swallowing things whole. Then my dad did what he always did when cornered. "Well," he said, too loudly, "some people need more help than others." My sister nodded quickly, grateful for the lifeline. "Exactly." I didn't argue. I didn't point out that I had been paying my own rent since 19, that I'd taken out loans quietly, that my help had come in the form of lectures about responsibility. Instead, I reached into my bag and took out my phone. "I'm just clarifying," I said, "since we're discussing finances." I tapped the screen and turned it so they could see, not theatrically, just enough. The banking app was open. The transaction history clear, monthly, precise. My mom inhaled sharply. "You've been checking our accounts?" "No," I said. "I've been managing the family trust distributions, at your request." That part they'd forgotten. My dad stared at the screen, then at me. Something shifted in his expression, not guilt, not exactly. Recognition. The authority in the moment wasn't mine. It was the documentation. The systems they'd trusted me to oversee without ever fully crediting. "This is inappropriate," my sister said, voice brittle now. "You're trying to embarrass me." I shook my head. I wasn't trying to do anything. I was responding. To his credit, my dad didn't yell. He didn't storm out. He did something rarer. He sat back down. The rest of the dinner limped along. Conversation resumed in fragments, cautious and thin. No more jokes. No more comparisons. The waiter brought dessert menus that no one opened. When the check came, my dad reached for it automatically. "I'll get it," my sister said quickly. My dad looked at her, at me. "At the table?" "No," he said. "I will." Outside, the night air felt sharper than before. We said our goodbyes in the parking lot, polite and strained. My sister didn't hug me. On the drive home, my phone buzzed once. A message from my mom. "We need to talk about this." I didn't reply. In the weeks that followed, things adjusted, quietly. The transfer didn't stop immediately, but it changed, reduced, then scheduled to sunset. My sister stopped posting about independence. My dad stopped making jokes at my expense. No one apologized. I didn't ask them to. What changed wasn't affection or closeness. It was something smaller and sturdier. They stopped applauding.